Hi, I'm Jessica Berkey, and this is my video confessional for my behavior change project. So I took the How Wealthy Are You quiz, and my lowest category was environmental health. I have just completed the contemplation stage of the stages of change because I've acknowledged that there's a problem and I would like to make a change. I've also considered why that would be difficult to make the change. So right now I'm in the preparation stage because I have committed to making a change and I'm making a plan for how I'm going to do that. So after I complete this video, I'll be in the action stage because I will be actively implementing my plan of action and trying to make those changes in my environmental health. So there was two behaviors I decided I wanted to change because I scored pretty low on both of them and I thought they were both really important. So the two behaviors I'm going to change, the first one is being more socially aware and involved in the environmental health of my community by writing to my elected officials. So that's from the quiz, and then also recycling, which is also on the quiz. So to start out, to prepare for the changes, for being more involved in writing to my elected leaders, I'm going to start by driving around the town and just seeing what environmental concerns I would have for the community, just seeing what's going on in the community. I usually don't really pay much attention when I'm driving around town to see if there's any environmental hazards that are going on. So I'm actually going to drive around, and that's all I'm going to focus on is looking for these environmental hazards, like littering, water pollution, or air pollution from factories. So I'm going to start by doing that, and then my next thing that I'm also going to do, just to prepare myself for writing to the leaders, is if I do see any litter, I would like to pick it up, show that initiative. So then after I drive around town, and maybe help out a little bit, I'm going to do some research on my community and its environmental health as a whole. Um, just, so I can get a good idea of what issues we've had in the past. Maybe it'll tell me what current issues my community is having. And um, also, so after I do my research, I'm also going to use my family to prepare for this because I think they'll act as a good sounding board for my concerns. And then they can also offer me suggestions for how to write a letter to my elected leaders. So once I figure out what I want to write about and I talk to my family, then I'm going to practice writing a professional letter because I want to make sure, it sounds professional, everything's spelled correctly, so I can really get my point across. So once I've done all these steps leading up to it, then I will write my letter to the elected leader, which in this case is going to be my mayor. And I'm not really sure what all I'm going to say yet because I'm still in the preparation stage, but I do know that one of the questions I want to ask is if the city has any regulations to monitor the emission levels from the local factories. Um, I would just be really curious to know that because I think that plays a big part in our environmental health. So I really need to play an active role in the environmental health of my community. I need to stay focused on my behavioral goals so I can be successful. So my plan right now is to increase my awareness of the environmental issues within my community and do research as to how I can have the greatest impact on reducing pollution and improving the environmental health of my community. And like I said, that's me driving around town and seeing what's going on, doing my research to see what's going on in the past or what's going on now. And then also, maybe helping out if they need it, just, making things better, cleaning things up, maybe helping with some littering. And then I'll write my elected official and tell him my concerns. So the second behavior I said I wanted to change is recycling, how often I recycle. My family and I don't recycle very often, and I know that that hurts the environment. So to change this behavior, I'm going to start by making a conscious effort to recycle, not only in my home, but in public places. So at home, I'm going to purchase a recycling bin or some sort of separate garbage can for recyclable items. And like I said, I'm going to make a conscious effort. So to make sure I don't forget, I'm going to put a little reminder above the garbage can, make sure you recycle. And then that way my family will see it too. So I'm going to inform my family that, we all need to recycle, and I'm going to make sure that they are playing a part in this change as well. So I realized when I was thinking about this that I drink a lot of water, like 4 to 5 bottles a day, and normally we just buy the plastic water bottles and I just throw them away. So as part of my behavior change, I'm gonna try and not use plastic water bottles. I'm going to try and use a refillable or reusable water bottle and just fill it with filtered water from the tap. Like I think it's called a Camelback water bottle or something. Or get one of the big jugs that you just like refill every month, and it has a little switch on it that lets the water come out. And then I'm going to recycle all plastic, and I'm going to reduce. We use a lot of styrofoam plates and plastic silverware just because it's easier. So I'm going to stop doing that so that that's less waste because we just throw them away. I'm going to start using real plates and silverware so I can just wash them and put them away. And then when I go out in public, I'm going to also try to make a change. I usually don't pay attention to what I'm throwing away in the garbage, but I know some places do have designated recycling trash cans. So now I'm going to make a conscious effort to pay attention to what I'm throwing away and put everything that's recyclable into the recycling can rather just throwing it away into the garbage. And when I go out, I'm also going to bring that refillable water bottle I talked about, so that way I don't have to buy a plastic water bottle that I would just throw away. So to prepare for this change, I said I'm going to purchase the separate recycling bin or trash can. And I'm also going to do some research on what products can be recycled because I know there's a lot and I'm not entirely sure everything that I can recycle. And I want to make sure I'm doing everything I can to reduce waste. So my plan for recycling is to be dedicated to sorting out recyclable items, making the choice to use less plastic and paper items whenever possible, and making that conscious effort with me and my family to recycle whenever I can. So the next bullet point is to talk about benefits of changing and detriments to not changing. So the benefits for changing, for talking to my elected officials, is that I could bring some actual changes to our community that would create a better environment and an overall better, it'd be healthier overall for the community. And I'll actually be able to voice my concerns and be heard by a higher official, which would be awesome. And then for recycling, some benefits. It's better for the environment, obviously, and it's better for the animals that inhabit it. I know you always see the commercials or the videos, of the plastic soda cans and the animals are stuck in them. So if I recycle, a benefit, it reduces the amount of waste going to landfills, and I can also reuse natural resources. So some detriments if I don't recycle, if I do not change, not just recycle, but if I do not change these behaviors, there could be some detriments. It could cause more harm to the environment that I live in. The community could become more polluted or hazardous. And honestly, if I don't, I'm ignoring my responsibility to my environment and to myself. And if I don't change and start recycling, it's going to cost my family more money. It costs less money to recycle. You're not buying as many things. And so then the next bullet point is talking about extrinsic and intrinsic motivators. So extrinsic motivators for talking to my elected officials would be just the possibility of networking with these elected officials and making a difference in my community. Maybe when environmental issues come up in the future, they might look to me, which, that just gives me such a sense of prestige and like worthiness, like I'm useful. Maybe I could be on a committee for improving the environment of Princeton, and just me taking that initiative could help me with future jobs and the future health of the community. And then some benefits for recycling, or some extrinsic motivators for recycling are that I can, sometimes places pay you for like the bottles and cans that you bring in to recycle. And I know some places when you bring back your used water cooler, they take money off your bill. And obviously recycling just makes the environment better for all of us in the long run. So the intrinsic motivators to change for talking to my elected officials and taking a more active role in the community, the intrinsic motivators for that would be, I would just feel more accomplished and know that I'm trying to do something to help the environment. I'm trying to make a difference. And I will enjoy being outside more because I know that I'll be in a clean and safe environment. And, I have made a difference, even if it's a small one. And then for, it's a difference for future generations. So for recycling, just again, like knowing that I'm making a difference and that I'm doing something healthy for myself, my family, and the environment. The next bullet point is perceived obstacles. So the obstacles I see that could come up for just like both of them is, I may have difficulty staying motivated with everything else I have going on. I'm going to have school and work, and obviously I still want time with my family and friends. Another obstacle is that the elected officials may not want to listen to me. They may not have time, or they may not care. I may be upsetting people in the community as well. Like the factories, They may be upset that I'm trying to push them to change. It could cost them more money. Or people could be upset who simply don't really care about the environment and think it's a waste of time to do all these steps. And also, a perceived obstacle for recycling is that, I can recycle as much as I want, but I can't make anyone else recycle, and my family may not follow in the same path. Another obstacle is I may not always have transportation to take my recyclables to the recycling center. So some strategies that I'm going to use to overcome these obstacles would be, I need to make sure that I'm staying focused and set aside time to think about my goals. If the elected leader, my mayor, doesn't want to listen to my concerns, then I can just keep trying to contact him, or I can find another elected official to speak with about my concerns. I can explain to my family how important these changes are for us and encourage them for recycling, and explain how important that is for us and encourage them to make environmentally healthy and safe decisions every day and continue to recycle. And then I can plan, a week or a couple days in advance when I want to take my recyclables so I can make sure I have my car or a ride. So the next bullet point is, what strategies will you utilize to overcome the obstacles? I already did that one. So the next bullet point is, what will success look like for you? So for me, success will be having my concerns about our community be acknowledged and making a difference in my personal environment by recycling or using products. So in 5 weeks, success will be hopefully a response from my elected official, hopefully a positive one that I contacted, and then in 5 weeks, another success for me will be having a successful recycling system working in my own home that causes less waste from our household. So the last bullet point is, how will you measure your success? So in order to measure my success, I need to be specific and clear. So to measure the success of contact with my elected leader, first of all, I'll know I'm successful when I've made them aware of the environmental concerns, because that was my first goal. So if I receive a response from that elected official, I've already been successful, but I will be even more successful when I receive that response, and it'll be completed. So I can also measure by going through my plan, which is, identify the health issues in the community, maybe try to help fix them, do some research on the health issues, and then contact the elected official and offer solutions. So once I can check off each of these boxes, I'll know that I've met my behavior goal and that I'm working towards success, working towards that completion of success. So then for recycling, I can measure my progress by taking any cans, bottles, recyclables to the center, and then I can keep track of how many pounds of materials I'm recycling. And then, for each month I can have a goal that I want to meet, and then I can physically measure my success. I can also keep track, every time I refill my water bottle, of how many water bottles I'm, not using. Like if I fill it 4 times, that's 4 water bottles that I'm saving, that aren't going into the environment, that aren't affecting the environment. So that's how I'll measure my successes, physically, and just physically, I need something tangible to measure. So I'm really excited to get started. I can't wait to see where this project takes me, and I can't wait to see at the end of it the success that I've come along with. So I just can't wait to get started, and thank you for listening.